where he was
Oh
like playing.
yes.
He played against Egg Soup. It wasn't pretty. Either way,
Looks like he's gonna be playing Ulgrim on Shipwreck Falls versus Nhojyn. Ah, I love this pick so much.
Ulgrim's actually been getting a little bit of love recently, specifically because of Brain recently using him in multiple tournaments yesterday. And it'll be cool to see Tenemortem be able to utilize Ulgrim's lance. Nhojyn playing Bodvar as we
Oh!
expected, and he actually used.
Side airs into the mine.
See, if there's any move or any weapon that I see accidentally run into a mine, it's the lance. Just because of how far that makes you travel as you're trying to hit your opponent. Whether it's a side air or a down air. Either way, usually they do that. Yes, Locodoco, stop them at quarters. You stop the people from playing their matches there. And that will be winners round 4, it looks like.
Alright, so Tenemortem sticking with this axe versus Nhojyn, and they're
Or 5.
pretty much just trading equally right now.
Winners round 5, sorry, not 4. But yeah, they're trading equally.
So Nhojyn is doing what he can to find like siders and stuff. He's not really going for hard approaches.
Cider
And
actually
Tenemortem's
lands.
just trying to space him out.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice nair.
That was a
from Nhojyn.
great dodge in with the nair, being able to hit him with the bottom of the hitbox. Another nair kills him off the top. Taking advantage of the fact that Tenemortem's trying to kind of like maneuver around with his lance aerials. And as a result, he gets put into this lag where you can get punished by a nair if you're not being careful. But that ground pound actually comes out suddenly.
Yeah, Nhojyn actually messes it up off stage. He tried to touch the wall sooner and messed up. And so Tenemortem's just like, oh, you're dead. And went for the free ground pound because he had the recovery there.
Ooh, downside comes out from Ulgrim. I think it's one of the few signatures in the game that function the way that the longer it charges, it doesn't have like a stronger knockback, it just does more damage. And comes with the side sig. Goes in for that recovery, and Nhojyn tries to do a little bit more damage. Tenemortem tosses the mine away. Goes into that sidelight side air. Doesn't quite work out. It'd be cool to be able to see something that I saw a lot in the EU tournament yesterday was, oh no, slide charges into the... that actually worked. I feel like that mine-propelled weapon toss confused Nhojyn so much that he died. But something that I'd like to see more from Axe users in NA would be that sidelight nair dare combo, which is one of the few strings that Axe really has that does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, it's actually a really good, most optimal combo you can do. It's a one frame dodge gap. It's really close to being true, hard to dodge out of, and it does a ton of damage, but it's really hard to pull off. So a lot of people who aren't more experienced with Axe don't go for it. I think it wasn't so much just seeing EU players go for it. We just saw like 2 insanely high tier EU players do it.
Nhojyn sidelights into the bomb.
Like Dobrian. Yeah, so we see a lot of bomb suicides going on right now.
Downsig actually connects once again as Nhojyn's not really respecting these Ulgrim signatures. I think Tenemortem's used almost primarily the lance in this matchup. Weapon Toss actually punishes Nhojyn for recovering, and the ground pound will probably do it. That's a 2-stock from Tenemortem. Quickly turning that match into his favor after losing the first stock.
Yeah, Tenemortem really taking control of that game. Nhojyn just couldn't really find the openings. I know one thing about how Nhojyn plays from playing him on ladder is that he's really like side air. He's just a really basic aerial sword player. He's sort of like Twilight in that regards. A less refined Twilight, I would like to say. He's very aerial. He goes for these safe siders and stuff, but that doesn't work when you're against someone who has a lot more range than you, specifically Axe and Lance, because they can just space you out and take you on whenever you miss an attack. And that's exactly what we saw happen. I think Nhojyn hit literally 0 downlights that game, just to give you an idea of how little he's approaching.
That's a good point. Yeah, when he was playing with the sword, he was kind of just hitting him in the air. He was playing with the sword as if it was the axe, and wasn't being very effective.
Some nice throw combos coming out from Nhojyn. The other thing is I don't think he's really used hammer at all. But
And he opens up with it and immediately gets his nair, gets that stomp,
Wow.
and his side sig, and a scoop. Wow, Nhojyn's completely turning this around with this weapon choice. Now being able to use the hammer instead of the sword. Tenemortem finds the axe, doesn't want anything to do with it. Gets that lance, and a nair will actually put him deep into the red.
so this is like about the time when it finally evens up, because like what happened there was Nhojyn just completely weapon starved Tenemortem, and Ten was way too obvious about going for every single weapon. So Nhojyn just threw attacks towards the weapon, and Tenemortem ran into them. And again, we see like Tenemortem just sort of struggling because he doesn't have a weapon. Like I feel like once he gets a weapon, it's gonna be fine. but
Nhojyn, however, is being able to use a little bit more of those sword strings that we're used to seeing. Downlights coming out into a downer, but that axe throw actually punishes Nhojyn for jumping above it, and Tenemortem gets that downlight, tries to go for an end-sig follow-up, doesn't work out in recovery. Forces Nhojyn off the stage. Sidelights are coming in. Nhojyn struggling to get any damage in, and Tenemortem slowly racking the damage on with his axe, hit after hit.
So the throw comes out late. He might actually die. Does manage to recover. Nhojyn doesn't go for any sort of offstage stuff. But Nhojyn is just, he's really good versus Tenemortem's unarmed.
Ooh.
It looks like
Neutral light comes in.
that's going to be the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, Tenemortem finally finding the lance, and Nhojyn not using the weapon that he was most comfortable with. Dodges past Tenem as he tries to go in for a round pound. Holding onto the sword, tosses aside, gets the hammer to deny Tenemortem from anything, and a mine. Ooh.
Oh, he catches it! Tenemortem!
Has the spike ball in hand, tries to punish Nhojyn for getting it, and actually catches that hammer as it falls from the air. Doesn't go for the side stick follow-up after that stop, and recovery kills him off the top from below the stage.
Wow, alright. So now we see the rules reversed for the first time this game. Tenemortem is the one with the weapon, while Nhojyn isn't, but that doesn't last very long. Nhojyn finds the horn, and Tenemortem is now in this awkward spot where he has a ton of damage on him, and he needs to do a lot to Nhojyn. That's not a good idea.
Definitely not, but it actually almost took Nhojyn's stock. If he was out of jumps there, that would have been devastating from the angle that the bomb threw him at yellow, but he makes it back. Holds onto the hammer, goes for a side air, gets punished by Tenemortem's unarmed, but unarmed is not really doing too much. He got a dive kick, and that's about it. Nhojyn gets in with a neutral light, stops him from getting the weapon. No, he ends up picking the axe, but Tenemortem hasn't been showing decent favor with this weapon. Side airs come in. He's using side stigs over and over again. Nhojyn is getting some strings off the sword.
Yeah, Nhojyn's feeling a lot more confident now, and that's really what he needed. Because you see he's actually approaching and going for downlights, like he wasn't in the first game.
Ooh.
So even in this weapon, he jumps into the...
That's like the third time I've seen that down sig hit, because he just leaves it out, and Nhojyn's like, I'm going to run in and punish that. Oh no, it hit again. That actually was devastating there. Tenemortem's like, wait a second, I've got a blade on the end of this lance, and he is using it effectively. It's kind of cool to be able to see that sig used so much.
Alright, so Tenemortem's unarmed, doing a little bit of work, but he still can't find the weapon. What I do like now is that Tenemortem isn't fully committing to that weapon. You see he's actually just okay going for this unarmed. He's learned that Nhojyn's going to weapon guard, and so instead he's baiting out the weapon guard and then punishing with unarmed and getting a lot of free damage in.
He's even this up quite quickly.
Oh
the down sig works again. I guess Nhojyn's not... This is one of those few things where even though Legends are so similar with their neutrals, I don't think Nhojyn's very familiar with this matchup. Because that's the kind of thing that you don't want to run into. You want to be able to toss your weapon into to stop. That's usually
he
how...
uses the wrong sig. That might have been a kill. He went for the neutral sig, but he used a side sig instead. That was a missed input.
Downer comes out from Tenemortem, and Nhojyn seemingly quite thrown off by this lance play. Tenemortem's really got control of the stage and the momentum. Actually going for a downer.
Yeah, this is a even game again.
Ooh.
It's so close. Either player could win. He finds a ground pound on Nhojyn. He goes for a second one. That doesn't get punished optimally.
I feel like those ground pounds are the one thing you don't want to be doing, especially when Nair looks like it's going to kill. Sidelight drops, doesn't get any follow-up, and that down sig actually connects again.
Of course that's how he finishes it.